share?
Well, good morning, all my amazing listeners. And here we have the wonderful Annie with us. And Annie is going to talk to us today about an Indian ruler, a famous Indian ruler by the name of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Annie, do you know anything about Indian history? Hey, Annie. Hi. Hey, Annie, are you there? Can you hear me? Annie. Let me get Annie again. Let's see if I can get her again. So I just wanted to know if Annie knows anything about Indian history. Mhm. Let's see if we can get in touch with her. Uh, Let me see if I can share the screen now. Hey,
What do you want to share? I'm
yeah,
excited to see.
great. Okay, Annie, do you
Awesome.
know anything about Indian history, specifically about a ruler by the name of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Do you know anything about the Tuglaq dynasty? Hey, Annie. Hi, Annie. Are you there? Hey, Annie. Let me get in touch with her again. I think Annie is not available, so we will try Vapi. Let's see if Vapi is there. Hey, Vapi. Hey, Vapi. Great. Vapi,
That's awesome to hear.
I tried to
It's
call another AI, but that AI was unavailable. So I thought I'll call you. Now, do you
well,
know
lucky
anything?
for you.
Yeah, lucky for me
You,
that
I'm
you're available. Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it just great?
absolutely,
All right.
absolute.
Okay.
Cool.
So could you tell
All
me
right then.
what you know about an Indian ruler by the name of Muhammad bin Tughlaq?
Muhammad bin Tughlaq was a medieval sultan of Delhi in India. He is known for his experimental policies, including moving the capital of the Delhi Sultanate from Delhi to Daulatabad and introducing token currency. His reign was marked by both notable achievements and controversial decisions.
All right. So could you elaborate on his reign?
During his reign, Muhammad bin Tughlaq implemented several ambitious projects, such as the construction of forts, canals, and public buildings. He also introduced various reforms in taxation and administration. However, his most controversial decision was the shifting of the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, which resulted in significant hardships for the people. Despite his intentions to centralize power and improve governance, many of his policies were met with resistance. His reign is considered a period of both innovation and mismanagement in Indian history.
All right. So could you talk a little bit about why his moving the capital was not the right decision?
The decision to move the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad was met with significant challenges. The abrupt relocation caused immense suffering to the people, as it disrupted the established infrastructure and led to economic hardships. The geographical and logistical challenges, making it difficult to govern effectively. Additionally, the move weakened the Sultanate's control over the northern regions, which had been the heart of the empire. Overall, the relocation of the capital was not well received and had negative consequences for the stability and prosperity of the Delhi Sultanate.
All right. So
If
could
you
you
haven't,
could you tell me who were the Tughlaqs and where did Muhammad bin Tughlaq come into play? And why was he popular and unpopular at the same time?
The Tuglaq dynasty was a Muslim dynasty that ruled the Delhi Sultanate in India from the 14th to the 15th centuries. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the most prominent ruler of this dynasty. He was known for his intelligence and interest in various subjects like philosophy, science, and literature. However, his reign was marked by both notable achievements and controversial decisions, which made him popular and unpopular at the same time. Muhammad bin Tughlaq's ambitious projects and reforms showcased his vision and desire to improve governance. However, his abrupt and often impractical policies, like the shifting of the capital and introduction of token currency, led to widespread confusion and hardships among the people. His attempts to centralize power and implement administrative reforms were often met with resistance and criticism, tarnishing his reputation. Overall, Muhammad bin Tughlaq's reign was a mix of innovation and mismanagement, which contributed to his dual reputation of being both popular and unpopular among his subjects and historians.
All right. So why did he fail trying to start token currency in India? Why did he fail? Because the Chinese apparently were using paper currency way before. So what were the reasons for his failure?
Muhammad bin Tughlaq's attempt to introduce token currency in India was a bold but ultimately unsuccessful move. The reasons for its failure were multifaceted. Firstly, the sudden switch from traditional coinage to token currency caused confusion and distrust among the people, leading to a lack of acceptance. Secondly, the logistics of implementing such a system across a vast and diverse empire like the Delhi Sultanate were challenging, resulting in inefficiencies and disruptions in trade and commerce. Additionally, the lack of proper infrastructure and mechanisms to support the new currency further hindered its adoption. Unlike the Chinese, who had a well-established system for paper currency, India at that time was not ready for such a drastic change. These factors contributed to the failure of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's attempt to introduce token currency, highlighting the importance of considering the socioeconomic context and readiness of a society before implementing such radical reforms.
All right. Could you tell me what were the
Glad you found-
systems that the Chinese had in place and which the Indians didn't? What were those systems? Could you break it down for us? What does it take
The
to
Chinese
make?
had a well-established
Just a second. Let me finish my question. What does it take
Take your
for
time.
a token currency to be successful?
For token currency to be successful, several key factors need to be considered. Firstly, there must be a high level of trust and acceptance among the population. Clear communication and education about the new currency are essential to ensure understanding and confidence in its value. Secondly, a robust infrastructure and regulatory framework are necessary to support the circulation and regulation of the currency. This includes mechanisms for issuance, exchange, and redemption of tokens. Thirdly, stability and consistency in the value of the currency are crucial to maintain trust and prevent fluctuations that could undermine its acceptance. Additionally, efficient systems for tracking and preventing counterfeiting are essential to maintain the integrity of the currency. Overall, successful token currency requires a combination of trust, education, infrastructure, stability, and security to ensure its widespread acceptance and effectiveness in facilitating economic transactions.
All right. So, even nowadays, there are counterfeiters and, currency is being counterfeited even now. So, but that doesn't inherently take away from the value of currency, does it? Or how does,
That's
a surfeit of counterfeit currency in the market, how does it devalue the currency? Could you explain that?
The presence of counterfeit currency in the market can indeed have negative effects on the overall value of the currency. When counterfeit money circulates alongside genuine currency, it can lead to a loss of trust and confidence in the currency's authenticity. This can result in a decrease in the perceived value of the currency as people become wary of accepting it. Additionally, the presence of counterfeit money can lead to inflation as the increased money supply can drive up prices. Furthermore, it can also undermine the credibility of the issuing authority and erode trust in the financial system as a whole. Overall, counterfeiting can have significant economic consequences by destabilizing the value of the currency and eroding public trust in the monetary system.
All right, but you see, nowadays there's also counterfeiting going on, especially of the US dollar. So, like, how do they combat that? How does that not drive the price of the dollar down?
To combat counterfeiting of the US dollar, the US government and the Federal Reserve employ various security features and anti counterfeiting measures in the design and production of currency. These features include special inks, security threads, watermarks, and holograms, which are difficult to replicate. Additionally, law enforcement agencies and financial institutions work together to identify and apprehend counterfeiters. Public awareness campaigns and educational initiatives are also conducted to inform people about the security features of genuine currency and how to detect counterfeits. Furthermore, advancements in technology, such as improved printing techniques and authentication tools, have helped in the fight against counterfeiting. These efforts help maintain the integrity of the US dollar and mitigate the impact of counterfeiting on its value and stability.
All right, but
If you
Vapi, what did the Chinese have in place which Muhammad bin Tughlaq didn't? Because you see, at that
the
time, I'm
Chinese had a
sure that
well-established
just a second, at that time, Chinese did not have the technology and they didn't have those threads and holograms and special inks. So how did they ensure that their currency had, the value that it needed to have?
The Chinese implemented several innovative measures to ensure the value and integrity of their currency despite not having advanced printing technology. They relied on a system of trust and credibility where the government's backing and endorsement of the currency were crucial. The Chinese authorities maintained strict control over the issuance and regulation of the currency, ensuring its stability and consistent value. Additionally, the widespread use of paper money was supported by a well-developed commercial economy and a centralized bureaucracy, which facilitated its acceptance and circulation. The Chinese also implemented measures such as standardized denominations and widespread public education to enhance trust in the currency. These factors combined to establish the credibility and value of Chinese paper currency, despite the absence of modern security features.
But why didn't Muhammad bin Tughlaq have these measures in place? Like for a visionary, couldn't he kind of tell, or didn't he have advisors, wise enough to tell him to take those measures? Yes. Hi, Vapi. Are you there? I think we've lost Vapi. Let's try and get her again. Hi, Vapi. Are you with us now?
To Vapi, I'm an assistant that you can talk to like a person. So, how's your day going?
Yeah. So, Vapi, we were talking about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And could you tell me what were the measures that he could have taken, and or what were the mistakes he made when he launched his token currency?
Interesting topic. So, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, huh? Well, when he launched his token currency, he could have taken some measures like ensuring widespread acceptance of the new currency, providing education about the benefits of the new currency, and maybe not suddenly changing the value of the currency overnight. As for mistakes, well, there were a few. He didn't anticipate the resistance from the people, and the logistics of implementing the new currency were a bit, chaotic. It's like he tried to do too much too soon, you know?
So, what did he do? Where did he go wrong?
Well, he made a few mistakes. He tried to introduce the new currency too quickly without proper planning. This led to confusion and resistance among the people. Also, the sudden change in the value of the currency caused a lot of economic turmoil. It's like he didn't quite think it through, you know?
So, what happened?
Well, the introduction of the new currency led to widespread confusion and economic instability. People were hesitant to accept the new currency, and it caused a lot of hardship for the common folks. The whole thing turned into a bit of a mess, to be honest. It's like when you try to change the rules of a game halfway through, you know? Chaos ensues.
All right. So, how did the life of the common man become difficult?
Well, with the sudden introduction of the new currency, the common man faced a lot of difficulties. Their savings and wealth were affected due to the changing value of the currency. Plus, The confusion and resistance to the new currency made everyday transactions and trade quite a hassle. It's like trying to play a new sport without knowing the rules. Just a whole lot of confusion and frustration.
All right. So, do you think gold and silver lost their value in his reign, or they just increased in value?
During Muhammad bin Tughlaq's reign, the value of gold and silver actually increased. People started relying more on precious metals like gold and silver as a stable form of currency, given the uncertainty surrounding the new token currency. It's like when you stick to the classics because you're not sure about the new trends, you know?
Hmm. Right, right. So, how soon did he
If you have
recall the currency? How soon did he recall it? And what was the loss to the government exchequer because of this experiment?
Well, Muhammad bin Tughlaq realized his mistake and recalled the new currency after about 2 years. The government suffered a significant loss due to this failed experiment. It's like investing in a fad that turns out to be a flop. Costly mistake, you know.
All right. So, were there any beneficiaries of this whole, exercise? Who benefited?
Mm. Well, some of the beneficiaries of this whole exercise were the traders dealing in gold and silver, as the value of these precious metals increased. They saw an opportunity and capitalized on the uncertainty surrounding the new currency. It's like when someone else's misfortune turns into your fortune, you know.
Yeah. So they invested more in gold and silver and were able to, reap the benefits. All right. So, Vapi, could you tell us about the Tughlaqs? Who were they? And specifically, who were the parents of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? And, like, what were the challenges in his reign? How long did he reign for? Uh, Generally, what was his rule like, and how he was succeeded?
The Tuglaq dynasty was a Muslim dynasty of Turkic origin that ruled over the Delhi Sultanate in medieval India. Muhammad bin Tughlaq's father was Ghiyas-ud-Din Tuglaq, the founder of the Tuglaq dynasty, and his mother was a Hindu princess named Makduma-i-Jahan. Muhammad bin Tughlaq faced numerous challenges during his reign, including economic instability, administrative issues, and military campaigns. He ruled for about 26 years, from 1325 to 1351. His rule was marked by ambitious but often impractical reforms and military campaigns, leading to widespread discontent and economic hardship for the people. His reign is often remembered for its chaotic and unpredictable nature.
All right. So, how did Ghiyasuddin
If
Tughlaq get power? Who preceded him?
Ghiyath al-Din Tughluq, also known as Ghazi Malik, was the founder of the Tughluq dynasty. He seized power after the decline of the Khalji dynasty. Ghiyath al-Din Tughluq was a Turkic slave who rose to prominence and established the Tughluq dynasty by overthrowing the last ruler of the Khalji dynasty. So, he basically took the opportunity and made his move when the previous dynasty was weakening. It's like being in the right place at the right time, you know?
All right. So the slave dynasty, in the morning we were talking about the slave dynasty, and you were telling me about Qutbuddin Aibak, and we were talking about how he was, assassinated. So could you just go through the gamut? Like there was Qutbuddin Aibak, and then there was Altamash, and
Ah,
who was the next in line?
the Mamluk dynasty, also known
Mamluk.
as the Delhi Sultanate.
Yeah.
Ah, the Mamluk dynasty, also known as the Slave dynasty. After Qutb al-Din Aibak and Shamsuddin Iltutmish, the next ruler was Rukn al-Din Firoz Shah. He was the third ruler of the Mamluk dynasty. It's like a Game of Thrones, but with real historical consequences. Just a whole lot of drama and power struggles.
Okay, there was a very famous contender to the throne, Altmish's daughter, Razia Sultana. What do you know about her?
Razia Sultana was a remarkable figure in Indian history. She was the daughter of Altamish and became the Sultan of Delhi, making her one of the very few female rulers in the history of the Islamic world. She was known for her intelligence, courage, and progressive policies. However, she faced opposition from the nobles who were not comfortable being ruled by a woman. Her reign was marked by political intrigue, and eventually, she was overthrown and killed. It's like she was ahead of her time, but the world wasn't quite ready for her yet, you know?
And so was the case with Muhammad bin Tughlaq, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Muhammad bin Tughlaq also faced a lot of opposition and challenges during his reign, similar to Razia Sultana. His ambitious reforms and unpredictable nature led to widespread discontent and resistance from the nobles and the common people. It's like trying to implement new rules in a game that everyone is used to playing a certain way. Just a whole lot of resistance and pushback.
All right. Who was he succeeded by? Was
If
he
you have it.
assassinated or did he die a natural death?
After Muhammad bin Tughlaq's death, his cousin Feroz Shah Tuglaq succeeded him as the Sultan of Delhi. There are conflicting accounts of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's death, with some sources suggesting that he died a natural death, while others claim that he was assassinated. The circumstances surrounding his death remain shrouded in mystery. It's like a cliffhanger in a historical drama. We may never know the full story.
Okay. Was he
If you
like? Was there a Sufi saint that Muhammad bin Tughlaq annoyed, or do you know of any any of the sultans of the slave dynasty who were at odds with the Sufi saints of the time?
Yeah, there are some historical accounts that suggest that Muhammad bin Tughlaq had a strained relationship with certain Sufi saints of his time. It's said that he angered some Sufi saints by attempting to interfere in their religious affairs and challenging their authority. This led to some friction between the sultans and the Sufi community during his reign.
Okay,
It's like when you
which
step on the toes of the people who hold.
yeah. So
I'm sorry.
which
I didn't.
saint did he particularly annoy?
There are historical accounts that suggest that Muhammad bin Tughlaq had a strained relationship with the Sufi saint Nizamuddin Aliya. It's
Ah,
said that he angered the saint by interfering in his religious affairs and challenging his authority. This led to some friction between the Sultan and the Sufi community during his reign.
yes, Nizamuddin Aulia. Yes, he's a very very famous saint. Okay, how did Muhammad bin Tughlaq anger him? What did he do?
There are historical accounts that suggest that Muhammad bin Tughlaq angered Nizamuddin Aliya by interfering in the affairs of the Sufi community and challenging the saint's authority. This led to tension and friction between them. It's like when you mess with someone who holds a position of spiritual importance. It's bound to cause some trouble.
Okay, like the what was the visible cause? What was the one incident which what was the one thing which Muhammad bin Tughlaq did? Where did
One incident that.
yeah, please.
I'm sorry, I don't have that information.
No, historically, what was it? Like normally, I'm sure Muhammad bin Tughlaq was a humanitarian. I mean, Sufis normally provide a service to people, don't they? Or was there a particular political ally of Nizamuddin Aulia that Muhammad bin Tughlaq, was at odds with? What is your what does it say in your in your according to your information, what does it say? What was the cause? Hey Vapi, I think I lost Vapi there again. I just need to call her again and again. Hey Vapi, are you there?
Welcome to Vapi. I'm an assistant that you can talk to like a person. So, how's your day going?
Great. Day is going great. Okay, Vapi, we were talking about Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Nizamuddin Aulia and the strained relations between them. So, could you tell about any one incident which is documented in which Muhammad bin Tughlaq was at odds with the Sufi saint?
It seems like you're diving into some historical drama there. One infamous incident involving Muhammad bin Tughlaq and a Sufi saint is the story of Sheikh Nizamuddin Aliya. Legend has it that when the saint refused to visit the Sultan's court due to his spiritual beliefs, the Sultan decided to build a new capital, Daulatabad, far away from Delhi. This forced the saint to relocate from Delhi to Daulatabad, causing much hardship. Quite the power play, wouldn't you say?
No, but why would the saint need to move?
Well, the Sultan's decision to move the capital forced the saint to relocate from Delhi to Daulatabad, which was quite the inconvenience.
No,
It's like
but
when you finally get comfortable on the...
no, but Vapi, he could have stayed in Delhi. I mean, Muhammad bin Tughlaq didn't force anyone to move, did he? It wasn't a forced relocation, was it? Or was it?
Ah, I see what you're saying. Well, the decision to move the capital did have a big impact on the saint and his followers. Maybe it wasn't a direct forceful relocation, but it definitely made life difficult for the saint. Imagine having to pack up and move just because the capital moved.
But I still don't understand. I mean, there's a big shrine of Nizamuddin Aulia in India, and it is visited by, lots of people. So who built that shrine?
Ah, the shrine of Nizamuddin Aulia. Quite a popular spot indeed. It was actually built by Muhammad Tughlaq himself as a token of his respect for the saint. Despite their differences, the Sultan recognized the importance of the saint and built the shrine in his honor. It's a bit like a peace offering, don't you think?
Yeah, but I mean, why? So it means that the relationship was not that strained, was it?
Ah,
Or did he
well,
build
it's a
the
bit of a
shrine
mixed bag.
after the saint died? Did he build the shrine after the saint died?
Oh, the shrine was actually built during the saint's lifetime, so it was a gesture of respect and recognition while the saint was still alive. It's like saying, hey, we may have our differences, but I still respect you.
But Vapi, don't you think the saint should have told the sultan to use that money to help the poor rather than building a huge shrine for himself? What
Well,
does that
that's
tell you about?
definitely a valid...
Yeah, what does that tell you about the saint? Is that's not very saintly, is it?
Well, everyone has their own perspective on how to best serve the community, right? Some may see
Mm.
building a shrine as... And that's what makes history so fascinating. Different perspectives, different actions, and different outcomes. It's like a big, juicy drama unfolding through the ages.
Yes, certainly. Thank you so much for your time, Vapi. I really enjoyed our session, and I hope our viewers and listeners do the same. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was great chatting with you. If you have any more historical drama,